NB, what might that stand for? New beginnings, all right. So ASI New Beginnings, Dan, we were at the beginning of this.
Debbie, you and I were at the very beginning of this. We were preparing for it during the year 2000. Now, those of you who can remember back that far, 2000 was a year when everybody was worried about what was going to happen.
Y2K.
Y2K, that's right. And when we were doing that special project, we were trying to equip as many lay people, ordinary people like us, to be able to preach the gospel evangelistically. And that started, and Debbie, you and I were on the team. There were a group of, I think, 60 people or so from ASI that we went to the Philippines and we conducted, I believe it was nearly 27, 28 evangelistic series. I remember we baptized over 3,000 people at the end of that, and we tested out the New Beginnings program. And Debbie has gone through a lot of different iterations since then.
It has, and we have a couple of graphics. So the first one that comes up is actually what the New Beginnings looked like at first. And then the next one that you see is actually what it looks like now. It's actually gone through about 4 revisions or upgrades because we always want to do better. And then the next one that you'll see is actually one of my favorite slides on the New Beginnings because it's static here, but in the presentation, that
was a movie coming in.
That was a movie coming in.
And I want to tell you, it's still cool, but it was really cool in 2001.
Really cool. That's right. And then the next one shows us, this is actually an example of the youth-focused New Beginnings. The next one is one that we've actually crafted for children.
Yes.
And then for the next slide, we'll see that it actually then translates to picture rolls.
Picture rolls.
Remember Sabbath School picture rolls were just one picture and a text that we used for Sabbath School? Well, we
about this
size.
Yeah.
And we use that with New Beginnings so that we have 26 messages as well as health talks.
That's right.
That anybody in the bush, we had a container that they could take
it was a waterproof container that could go through a creek if need be, and the material was actually a material like a Mylar, so it got wet, it was no problem, but it allowed people, this was what we call the analog New Beginnings. The digital was what you put on the screen, but we had to have analog New Beginnings, and those picture rolls by the thousands are all over the world tonight.
And they're using them. And we don't stop there. Then, actually, just last year, and Andy Hunsaker was at the foundation of moving New Beginnings to a really interesting combination with health and spiritual talks all in the same piece.
And we just saw, just before we came out here, there was a video that showed that. In fact, there it is on the screen.